Everyone, and welcome to our EPIC CBO TA webinar today on September 12th. Today we have Olivia Miller and Tammy Stone on the line. We have a pretty short agenda today, so we're going to go ahead and run through that, and then we'll open everything up for questions and answers if you guys have any questions on anything going on with EPIC, the tools, the program itself. So we'll go ahead and dive right in. The first thing we're going to be going over on our agenda today is our cost study data books that are due. We have a couple CBOs who have not turned those in yet, so I'm going to pass things over to Tammy to let her cover this.
Yeah, we just have a few of you that I did not see that come through, and this would be for round 9. I went back and tried to look through emails to see if I missed something, and I saw some that had the round 8 corrections, but I did not have the round 9. So if you sent it and you're on the list, I apologize. Please resend it. But Homework Hangout, Instituto Leslie Bates, National Label, and Tri-County Urban League, I need to have your round 9 cost data studies completed and sent to me, preferably by the end of this week if possible. So I just want to give you that update. And then one of the things that you need to look into when you're doing that is your percent of time on the study and your percent of time on the evaluation part of the study. So if you're, I had a question on that actually today. The evaluation is anything that you do related to the study itself. So filling out the cost study books is part of the evaluation. I know several of you have had visits this week from the evaluation team, the study team. So the time spent with them would be considered evaluation time. Your evaluation time will probably be relatively limited. It just, how much time, if you're having visits, site visits, obviously it's going to take, a day away of your time. So, but that's the difference between those. So in I believe it's in tab B, when they ask for percent of time spent on the program itself and then the percent of time spent on the evaluation, that's what they're talking about. So I just want to bring that up. We're going to be starting to check that before we send them in with this next go around when they send out round 10. But if you haven't done your round 9, if you're on this list, please get that to me by the end of the week. And then with that, any questions on that? If not, I'm going to go ahead and move on and do update on the modifications. We have got them all initiated. They've been through the director's office, most of them. Quite a few of them are in accounting. So my goal and mission is to get those out for signature to you guys, hopefully by the end of this week. If not all of them by the end of this week, the rest by the first part of next week. So we can get these obligated, because I know there's several of you that need to request costs or request cash for costs incurred, and then you also need to put your costs in. So once we get these done, this will, make everything, right based upon the information that you guys provided us for this modification. So I just, we're moving. I know it's been a long, drawn-out process, and I have to apologize for that. We just had to make sure we had the UIGA, with DHS first, and we did have that on the 28th, and then we initiated the grants right on the 28th too. So they are moving. Any questions on the modifications? And you can always call me direct if you have any questions related to that. I'd be more than happy to, answer any other questions related to that. But if not, I'm going to turn it over to Olivia, and unfortunately I have to be on another call, so I'm going to have to drop off, and Olivia will go over the dashboard numbers. And just for your information, Dee has not been working on this project for the last couple weeks. We're hoping that she's going to be returning here real soon. It had to do with some procurement, some options, but I think that hopefully that's going to be resolved here soon, and Dee will be coming back on. And she has been responding to, some of you guys' emails here and there. But if you're missing her voice, which I am missing it, we will hopefully be hearing it really soon. And no, Dee is not permanently off. She's just been off for about 2 weeks. So and like I said, once again, it's dealing with getting the procurement completed. So, but yeah, she's a very integral part, and Olivia and I both miss her. Okay, with that, Olivia,
very much
go
so.
Ahead? Yeah, especially, Olivia. We both are wanting her back at ASAP. Okay.
Did you guys have any questions for Tammy before she hops off?
Yeah, I have to actually, I'm sorry, I have to get to another meeting here real quick. But if you have any questions, please send me an email, call me. I'm available. I was out last week, but I'm back in the office, and so just please give me a call and let me know what's going on. And once again, really, I want to just push to get customers in the door, reverse referrals. Do your best effort to get, individuals through reverse referral also, because we want you to meet your numbers based upon this modifications, and then we are definitely on a short time span here. So the big push is going to be, getting customers in, getting them in training, and moving them. So, okay, with that said, everybody have a great afternoon, and I'm going to turn it over to Olivia.
Thank you very much, Tammy. So before we jump into the dashboard numbers, I want to give everybody just a second to check in. If you have not checked in, please go ahead and identify which organization you're with while I work on getting my screen up. Alrighty. So today we are going to be doing dashboard numbers the old school way, where we're actually in the dashboard. I have not had a chance to go through and break out all the numbers, but I will do that before I send out the meeting minutes so everybody knows where you're at on the dashboard. So one of the first areas that we have is our application not started. We actually have included a new row so we can break out applications that have not been started, looking at whether the appointment is scheduled or if it is passed. So we currently have 49 customers whose appointments have passed that do not have applications that have been started. So please make sure you're looking at those customers, getting them back in so they can get that application completed. And then our next row is 2151s past due. We have 17 customers who have a 2151 past due. It is DHS policy that 2151 be uploaded within 48 hours of the customer's scheduled appointment. If the customer was a no-show for their appointment, a no contact, and your 2151 is past due, DHS will not accept it because you did not follow policy and meet the required timeline. So you will need to call those customers back in, reschedule them a new appointment, and be sure to upload that new 2151 within the 48 hours of that newly scheduled appointment, because customers cannot be put through conciliation or sanction if policy is not followed. So if any of those 17 customers were no contacts, it's on the CBOs to go back and complete the rescheduling process for those customers. If your customers did show up, please go ahead and just upload that 2151 as soon as possible by the end of the day today, stating that services were initiated with them or assessments were completed. Our next row, referral accepted and enrollment started. Enrollment is required. We have 63 customers who have services initiated marked on their 2151, but they have not been enrolled by the CBO. CBOs are required to enroll customers within 5 business days of accepting the customer. That should be enough time to go in and get them assessed. That has been the procedure we have been using for probably a little over a year now. So we're getting pretty behind on these 63 customers. They need to be enrolled, or you need to talk to us and let us know what's going on if you initiated services with them, but maybe they dropped off or something. The 63 is way too high, so we really need to work on getting that number way, way down. The next areas we're going to cover is the CBO needs to upload. We have 61 customers who are missing their monthly 2151A. I do know we had a Labor Day that fell in that week on the 3rd. So I know a few people emailed me they were going to be a little bit late, but it is September 12th. We should have all of those taken care of and uploaded. So if you have any customers in the CBO needs to upload row, please make sure you're getting all those 2151As uploaded no later than the end of the week this week. Our next sections are our 2151A progress sections. We have 0 customers who are marked as situation worse, so that's amazing. We only have 1 customer marked as no progress. For whoever's customer this is, if the customer continues to receive no progress next month, be sure that you are putting that customer through conciliation. They shouldn't remain in a no progress situation worse or minimal progress row for more than a month without going through conciliation. And then our next row is a minimal progress, and we have 0 customers in that row as well, so that is awesome. And our next rows are in our completion status section. So we have 26 customers who have been marked as complete by the CBO, but are missing the required completion documentation. Depending on your customer's completed status, will depend what documentation needs uploaded, but all customers need a 2151A marked as complete after they have been completed. And then hired by employer customers need to have their verification, their employment verification information uploaded, and they also need their employer information added to the completion section. If you do not have all the completion documentation uploaded for your customers, they will not count as a benchmark for being complete until after that is uploaded. We have to have the proper paperwork to verify that they were actually completed. So you will notice on some of your reports, if your customers are missing information, they may not be counted because we will not count benchmarks if they're missing paperwork. Our next row is DHS change eligibility status, CBO action required. We have 13 customers whose eligibility status has been updated by DHS. These customers are going to need to be marked as did not complete. Their status has either been updated to SNAP ineligible, moved to traditional JPP, or exempt and no longer wants to participate. So the system is just prompting you guys as the CBOs to close those customers out to show that you're no longer working with them because they no longer fall within the EPIC eligible status. Do you guys have any questions at all on any of the dashboard numbers we covered? Alrighty, I don't see anybody typing. I see a lot of hellos in the chat pod though, so hi everyone. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody's phone lines, and then I kind of want to just open things up to questions and answers. Before I get everybody's phone lines unmuted, are there any specific areas that you guys would like to cover or talk about on the webinar now that we have gotten through all of our agenda items?
Your microphone has been turned on.
So Kelsey says she has to keep re-uploading the same 2151As when DHS changes completion statuses. This is for people who are completed as not SNAP eligible. So Kelsey, you're going in and you're marking these customers as complete. You're uploading their 2151A marked as complete, and then their completion status is being changed by DHS. I guess I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying. If you want, Kelsey, I can also call you after this webinar, and we can maybe dive a little deeper into that. It sounds like it might be one of those odd situations that we need to dig into. Oh, DHS will mark them as pending re-engagement, and then they'll update them to no longer SNAP eligible, and it's wanting you to re-upload that 2151A marked as complete after that. Okay. I'll talk to Jonathan about that. We did make some updates to the re-engagement process, so that could definitely be doing something funky with the 2151As. Kelsey, could you send me an email with just one customer who you ran into that with, their other participant ID, so I can give it to Jonathan as an example? Yes, Virgil, I can give you a call. Perfect. Thank you for the number. I'll give you a call right after this webinar. Sorry, I'm making a note to myself. Thank you, Kelsey. We have a few more people typing, so we'll wait and see what they have. While we're kind of waiting for more questions to come in, I have multiple people typing right now. I just want to tell you guys you're doing very good on getting reverse referrals sent in. It's great to see how many customers we've been able to get in this new cohort of people after we shut down random assignment. I just want to say keep up the good work, keep moving forward. We appreciate you guys reaching out to us and making sure that customers are moving through that process. If you notice there's lag time with DHS, DHS has been really good about reaching out to us with any questions they have, or if they notice customers that are sitting for a while that nobody's touched, they're working with each other to make sure they're getting taken care of as well. So just keep up the good work, and really just for this next month or so, just keep working really hard on getting those reverse referrals in, because once we are no longer doing those reverse referrals, we'll have only the customers we were able to get in this time period. So keep working hard at all that. Alrighty, so I have a question that came in from Samantha. When a client is submitted in the EPIC system with an address that is different from the address they provide to DHS, are there caseworkers on the DHS files unable to locate their client if the address is different? So Samantha, in the EPIC system, when a customer is added in and any of the information, whether it be their name, phone number, address, email, is different than what DHS has on file, it will flag that customer with a red banner bar for DHS, and it will prompt DHS to update their system with a new address for that customer. They should still be able to locate the customer using the other identifying pieces of information we've provided to them. If it's just one piece of information like their address, that shouldn't cause any issues. Now, if a customer is added in incorrectly and say their date of birth, phone number, email, and address were all wrong, DHS might have issues locating them at that point in time. But that would be something you should contact me or Tammy or info at about so that we can update that in the system, because we'll just completely remove that customer and add them the proper way to make sure no information gets associated to the other individual's information that was added in. So I have another question that said we had several individuals who were requesting SNAP verification, but today they were all marked as verification request not sent. Was this a system error? So today we did push out an update. There seems to have been a little bit of confusion on the CBO side as to how to complete that verification request process. When you put all the customer's information in to all those fields, you have to click the invite and send customer button in order to send that verification request to DHS. We had a lot of people who were just clicking save, which does not trigger the system to send to DHS. So Jonathan made a text update that would easily identify customers who had been entered in but not sent to DHS using the text you had provided, which is verification request not sent. So if you're seeing that on your customer list, that means the customer was never actually sent to DHS. So it's not a system error. That means there was an error on the inviting process when you were doing that reverse referral and you never got it all the way to DHS. So you'll need to go into the system and click View next to that customer and then click the Schedule and Invite button. You should always set an appointment date for your customer whenever you're sending them to DHS. If you never had to select an appointment date for the customer, that means that it was never sent to DHS, because it is required that the CBO set the initial appointment, not DHS. So that's something you can keep in the back of your mind as you're doing those invites. If you never see an appointment date, you didn't do something right, and you need to retrace your steps and make sure you're clicking the proper button. So we have another question. What factors are used by DHS to determine if the customer is eligible for EPIC or to determine to remain in regular SNAP JPP? Laura, that is a great question. I unfortunately do not have the perfect answer for that, as there are many factors that go into assessing that customer and determining if they're EPIC eligible. Just some high-level overviews of what they're looking at is customers cannot be participating in some other specific programs like TANF and have to meet those kinds of requirements. So they're checking to make sure that they are not participating in any other programs that would make them not qualify for the EPIC program. They're also making sure they're not in a household that's participating in those programs that would make them not qualify for the EPIC program. They're also assessing them, they're assessing their education and skill level to determine if training is a viable option for the customers. They do a family needs assessment that takes a deeper look into that customer's needs to make sure that they are EPIC eligible and don't have any other areas that they may need to work on before joining the EPIC program. Laura, does that kind of help answer your question? Kelsey says that I have had several clients be rejected by DHS for being non-ABODs. Individuals who are not ABODs are eligible to participate on a voluntary basis. However, we have a percentage requirement, which I believe is 85% of our EPIC participants have to be work registrants. So the offices have different requirements for how many participants they can allow to come in if they're not work registrants. That could be one of the reasons they're turning away some of those customers if they're getting close to that percentage break. They cannot go over that. That was set in place by the study team, and we have to follow that. Even though we're out of the study period, we took that over into the new cohort as well. Kelsey, do you guys have traditional SNAP programs? There has been some confusion in the past for people who are doing both. Nope? Okay. Can you send me the other participant IDs of the individuals who are receiving TANF? Were they put into the EPIC system and sent to you? Or just walk-ins? Okay, yeah, send me their other participant ID numbers, and I'll follow up with DHS on those customers. And we'll kind of highlight this too in our DHS webinar, just eligible participants and what we're looking for. Loris says we have a JPP program and we recruit from, and DHS has determined that customers remain in regular JPP. Loris, that should not be for all of your customers. If that is happening to every single one of your JPP customers, if you could send me an email and let me know, I'd like to get Tammy in on that, and me and Tammy can work with DHS to take a look at that. However, I do know that one of the other things DHS was looking at is if a customer is in a traditional SNAP program like JPP and a contract and funds have already been spent for that customer and are in place, the customer is not necessarily allowed to just walk away from JPP and join a new program. If they have a contract already going on for a JPP program, they do have to finish that program out, finish that contract out, and use up those funds before they could move to another program. So that, if it's just happening to some of your customers, that could very well be why. Do we have any other questions? Alrighty, well, I don't see anybody typing. We got through everything on our agenda today, and then we got to quite a few question and answers. If anything else comes up, go ahead and send me an email. As Tammy explained, Dee's not on as of right now, so I'm trying to get to all the emails as quickly as I can, but I do have a lot coming in, and I have been traveling, and I'll be doing some more traveling this week. So bear with me as I go through and get all those emails answered. You can also always email Jonathan Butler. He is our programmer. He's my backup for when I'm out, so I know some of you have been working with him. But just know that we're here, and definitely keep sending us emails, and we'll take care of them as quickly as we can. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we will be meeting again. Our next CBO webinar will be